Rightio. Good evening. Welcome everybody to the ERL stream tonight for Tier 2. We should be ready to go shortly for round number 2 of for round number 3 of the ERL season. And tonight we've got a sprint. Therefore, we've got a short 18-minute qualifying followed by a 12-lap race and then a 50% 36-lap race. We have tonight on the offer. We've got 18 drivers, 18 runners and riders, and of course, there will only be one winner and one pole sitter too. So, who is going to come out all on top, of course? We are going to have to find out the answer to that question, but I'm sure we will very, very shortly. So, obviously, we are now loaded up and we are ready to go for what will be round 3 of the season in Austria at, obviously, Red Bull Ring around, well, the Red Bull circuit, which I believe is Red Bull owned by Red Bull GmbH or whatever it's called. Obviously the Austrian parent company of Red Bull, the company itself, not the Red Bull racing team. Hence dubbed the Red Bull Ring. So, here we go then. Qualifying has officially begun, and we are waiting for the first driver to elect to come out onto the racetrack then tonight. So, literally just waiting for everyone to come out into the pits. I think we got a little bit of pit lane activity by the looks of it from, I think that was the Alpine. It is Alpine, so I think that will then be either Iron Marshall or Dudele. It's Dudele, sorry, not Iron Marshall, it's Amsterdam, the other teammate. I'm thinking of someone else there. Still. So Dudele, the first driver onto the circuit, closely followed by Dots Piers ERL. So, assume he'll be the first one around to start a lap. Get out the old track map. Small E-cup. Could be worse. Anyway, lap 12. Or not lap 12. Can't number 12. Anyway, here we go then for Dots Piers ERL for then the first lap of the day around Austria, of course, out of the final corner and up towards the Lauda turn using the DRS, of course, as he does so, and into turn 1. Keeps it within the track boundaries on the entrance and exit of turn 1. Takes a nice wide line in using all of the track. Then up the hill towards turn number 3. And of course, does the fastest first sector, 16.7. So that's a fairly decent first sector overall. Anyway, down the hill then towards 4. Got a little bit of traffic in front of him, but those two cars keep nicely out of his way. Into 4, through 4, then heading towards turn 5. Could have maybe been a little bit closer to the apex of 5, but still doing a marvellous job he is at the moment. Anyway, through 6 and up the hill then towards 7 and 8 and 9. And down the hill, one final corner to go. Misses the apex by quite a margin. Certainly will have lost a bit of time there, but does a 1 minute .69. So not the fastest time at all, but of course it is the first time of this session, so Dudelay has backed out. So who's next across the line? Let's find out. It might be Arbeck-Dury. It's going to be Arbeck-Dury. Not using much ERS there, not during these opening runs. As Piano Jam goes now to the top, followed by Arbeck-Dury, who's a long way off. But yeah, these times aren't being very competitive. There we go, first actual competitive lap time on the board. A 1:04.7. Finally, someone has actually decided to do a competitive run. Let's see what then Vin Porsche is about to do here. We'll follow the Aston Martin as Danny Van Rooten goes to the top then with a 1:03.7, followed by Onno Doyle, who's in second with a 1:03.9. Anyway, here comes Vin Porsche. Takes a nice turn through there, hits the apex well. Going to cross the line now, goes P3 with a 1:04.1, so a few tenths off the current best time then. So he is still a bit down, but has improved his time to 1:04.6. There you go on the inters, so certainly he's not going to be doing massive improvements. But here comes then Arbeck-Dury to the line then, does a 1:04.9, so about a second and a bit off than the current best time. Here's Strooms then, and currently sat 12th in this qualifying. Anyway, down the hill towards 4. Let's have a car almost collecting the Aston Martin of, I think that would be either Vigo or then Porsche. Not sure which one it is. Both of the Astons are pretty close proximity to each other right now, but yeah, very, very close to running into the Aston there. Probably not the ideal position for the Aston Martin driver to be, but anyway, through the final corner, now Strooms go. What can he do? Can he get into the top 10? Yes, and does so quite comfortably with a 1:04.9.48, so a few thousandths ahead of his teammate right now. Next up is Brian. Brian on a lap then here, but I'm not sure he's on a competitive lap because he's not using up much ERS charge overall. So here comes then Brian around the final couple of corners in his Ferrari. Going to round the final corner now. And again, we'll take the shortest run, or not the shortest run, but takes a run to the line. And we'll now restart another lap. Tiny might have actually begun a lap ahead of him. He has. Does a 16.1 for the first sector, so not a bad first sector from Tiny. Let's see what he can do in the middle. With the sectors also being quite small here, relatively in comparison to other tracks, won't be a much margin between maybe the top drivers if everyone gets in the ideal lap time for themselves. But anyway, here comes Tiny. Right now, there's about 2/10 gap between first and second. Can he maybe do something about that and bring that gap down? Going to come around the final corner now. And let's see what lap time this is going to be. It's a 1:04.5. So less than, obviously, a second under where the current pole lap time is at. So next up is Bouncy. Right now, St. Power has retired. Dudelay's been disqualified. But here comes then Bouncy. I think Nice Job is actually ahead of him, so we'll quickly go to Nice Job. See what lap time he can do as he'll cross the line shortly himself as well. Obviously, doing very good in other leagues, but nonetheless, here comes a Nice Job to the line. and goes only P7, so not brilliant from himself, but not bad either. Here comes Voutsy, his teammate, and manages to be P11. So only the two Haas drivers to do a lap time, to get a lap time on the board. Here's Amsterdam again. First lap time was a 1:04.7. So let's see if he can improve upon that. Currently 89 thousandths up for the first two sectors. So is improving overall, but is it going to be enough to jump up the order? Currently sat 8th as he'll round the final corner. Car looks like it stepped out on him a bit through that final turn, but nonetheless still manages to find 2/10, 2.5 tenths in fact, to move up into the top 5. So that's a very decent effort from him. Obeduri would have improved, but obviously has invalidated. Voutsy has completed his run. So I'm not sure who's next, because a lot of drivers. I think it actually might be ERL Peers. Let's see. Again, not using any ERS, so yeah, this won't be a particularly quick time without that ERS battery, but therefore must be going for the second or two runs here. So this looks like a bit of a strategic play from ERL Peers here to obviously try and maybe warm those tyres up for the first run, and then maybe the second run give it the full beans and go for it and attack the lap. Netherlands was quite the thrilling race, actually, to be fair, in ERL with Tier 2 guys. Quite enjoyed that one last week. Anyway, here we go then for ERL Peers as he will round the final corner. About 8 minutes left, so still plenty of time to get in a third run here. Very wide through that final corner. Hopefully he hasn't invalidated. I don't think he has, so he's gotten away with it. But now he will try and go for a bit of a faster run using that ERS charge. So let's see what he can do here on this second attempt. Then for the Williams driver. Going to go back to Ono Doll, who I think is actually on a hot lap and a bit further ahead. He's coming around the final corner now. Keeps just within track limits. Again, car looking very loose through that final corner entry and does improve his time, but missing out currently on the pole position. Then down in up in P2. Not down in P2, but up in P2, should say. Let's see where Vigo is. Vigo's backed out. So here is then Peers, fastest middle sector, so about 10th up on his own best lap time. Obviously Aston Martin just is right, but nicely out of the way. So no issues there for Peers as he'll round the final corner. Could maybe take a little bit more, curb on the entrance and exit there, but does improve by a few thousandths and goes up into 7th. Now here's Algary, or Algary, and Algary coming down the hill, 45.2 for middle, so a little bit off where it needs to be, but sadly for him, he's invalidated, so we'll have to go again. Piano Jam just backed off a lap there. Nice job currently on an out lap. Then got Tiny, gonna see if Duntingham Rutan's next. So next driver, I think to cross the line is going to be Tiny. Then it'll be Vigo, dare I say. As we do have a yellow flag out in Sector 2. So Tiny, I don't think he's actually improving. Piers have got a 5-place grid penalty for a collision with Vigo, so that cannot be good. Let's see if Vigo improves. The answer to that is no, he doesn't. Oh, actually he did, but again invalidated. So, yeah, penalty for for Piers. 5 places, he'll be affected on the start of the sprint. I believe that'll be applied to the sprint. Will not be applied to what you call it. If Danny doesn't get pole, you'll donate a kidney. Fair enough. I mean, make sure you keep to the promise though. I will hold you against that one. Man is definitely going to have to donate kidneys now. Um, yeah, so that is a interesting bet. So, Danny Van Rooten, you are literally, well, playing with a man going under the, what you call it, the operating theatre at the moment, for donating kidneys. That'd be thrilling. Have to come see the operation in action. Anyway, here then is Amsterdam, and Amsterdam has crashed out of the session. Oscar has invalidated. Nice jobs up to P4. Does a 402. Or 422. So, Tiny is not on a lap. Like, really, we don't have many cars on a lap, because Oscar, I don't think, is on a lap. I think he's invalidated. Yep, yes. And nice job. Unless he's improving, which he isn't, then, yeah, we're just waiting then for the final few cars to, or the final couple of minutes to count down in this qualifying. So, as I say, waiting for now the final few cars to come out in qualifying. Right. So our Big Dury is going to be the first one to hit the track. Then, here in qualifying for the final runs, followed by then Vim Porsche, he'll be the next one to go around. Now, I do wonder whether any of these will choose to do the double warm-up. Obviously, that's where you go out, you warm up the tyres for the first lap, and then do it again on the second lap, or whether they'll just go on and attack the lap. Let's see. It looks like Albegduri is just going to attack this and not wait around. So here we go then. Out of the final corner for Albegduri's final run, and we'll head up towards the Lauda curb and take turn 1. Into 2 then. Little bit of a bounce across the yellow sausage curb on the exit. Certainly not necessarily slows the car down, but won't be helpful overall to his first sector time, and is 8 thousandths down at the moment on his personal best. Up then the hill towards 3, and looks like to me he's backed out, and he has indeed. So we'll have to wait then. Next up then will be Vim Porsche, currently with a 401, or 041. Currently sat 3rd. However, might meet a bit of traffic here. Vim Porsche may, as he will then, as I said, go up towards that ladder curb like Albeduri did a few seconds ago. Let's see what he can do. So looks like a bit of a smoother run through turn 1. Certainly not using as much of the exit curb there on the exit, but nicely within it. Little bit of impediment then there from, I think that was Ehrman or Algary. But yeah, I think it was probably Algary who impeded. It looks like Vim Porsche continuing on for now with the lap. Doesn't look like he's backed off or backed out. So if it did affect him, it may, well, the Haas may have just gotten out of the way in the nick of time, but that was certainly not the nick of time from the Red Bull, and that is certainly going to cost the Aston Martin and Stroom's very big, or very costly indeed. Yeah, that's a huge impediment from Stroom's there. And, well, if Stroom's got away with it, certainly Vigo didn't. Or Vim Porsche, sorry, didn't. Anyway, here comes Albegduri. Going to come across the line now. And another impediment. And that's another big one. What is going on tonight with all these impediments? Not what you want to see. Here comes across Tiny. Going to cross the line. Does improve ever so slightly, but not much. Honor Dole has Then obviously crashed out, so he was the closest runner. The Danny Van Rooten, I think might get pole here then, unless Oscar can take it away from him. Danny Van Rooten is about 10th down for the first sector, whereas Oscar is about 72 thousandths up, but does need to find about half a second if he wants to take pole position tonight for this race. Sturms stays, I believe, then in P11. Have to wait and see. Piers jumps up the order. Let's see what Oscar can do. I don't think, obviously, Danny Van Rooten is improving. So it's only going to come down to Oscar then. If he can take this pole position away from his teammate. Let's have a look. It's close, but not close enough. Goes into P3 with a 1:03.9, and unfortunately, or fortunately for someone, Mackenzie Miller, you have to now not donate a kidney, sadly. Even though you should still do it. Just give your kidney away. Literally. Still, look, we'll pay you. Donating something is good, always. Man is actively telling people to donate kidneys on stream. That probably isn't great. Anyway, yeah. Danny Van Rooten is your pulse here, fair enough. And yeah. So, that is obviously qualifying done and dusted. And now we will move on to the sprint race for what will be a 12-lap sprint around Austria, and maybe a little bit less chaotic. Anyway, oh no, Danny Van Rooten hasn't taken pole. Danny Van Rooten, well, he's taken the fastest lap, but will not be pole. So Danny Van Rooten will have a 5-place grid penalty, same with ERL Piers. So that will probably move Danny Van Rooten down to 5th or 6th. So Oni O'Donnell will start on pole, then it'll be Oscar 2nd, 3rd will be then Porsche, 4th will be Nice Job, then I believe 5th will be Danny Van Rooten. Piers will be below, so be Amsterdam in 6th, then 7th will be Tiny, 8th be Vigo, 9th will be Arbegduri, 10th should be Piers or Strooms in 10th, and yeah, no set time. Then our strikey and a few other drivers, but yeah, a few penalties there. Certainly going to affect the grid start for this race. So yeah, few certainly drivers getting penalties. A few drivers going into the back of others due to being impeded and ruining others' laps. Not the best quality I've ever seen overall in that essence, but could be worse, I suppose. So, obviously, it is a sprint race. This then one. Not sure when the pen comes, but apparently it's going to be the main race then. The penalties get served. So, here we go then. So, Danny Van Rooten will start pole for the sprint, and it's lights out and away we go. It's a good start from Danny Van Rooten, but a brilliant start from his teammate in 3rd, almost jumping the AlphaTauri driver off the line, but gets a lovely switchback, Oscar does, and is going to be then ahead up the hill into turn 3. Now, obviously, Ono O'Donnell can come back on the inside, but elects for the outside line around the outside at turn 3. Tries the move, but in the end gets a little bit of a punt off the circuit, and this is going to allow Wim Porsche the opportunity to come on through. Wim Porsche, can he get the move down the inside at turn 4? He's got the inside line. It is going to be Oneodul on the outside. Oneodul has to give up the position in the end there, and therefore Oneodul down to 4th after starting P2. So, next up is Nice Job, then it's Amsterdam, Vigo in 8th, then it's Tiny in 9th, then striking Arbeg Duri fighting out for P11 and P10 at the moment. But is Arbeg Duri in the background. We've also got Strooms and also Algary going down the inside. Algary makes a little bit of contact with Verhaas, and we've got a huge crash between the three of them, and that undoubtedly causes a virtual safety car. Surprised it weren't the full safety car deployed there, but Dudelay, I think that is, out of the Grand Prix. Is it? Or has he got going? Nope, he's got going. So Algary is out of the Grand Prix, and now the safety car is deployed, understandably so, for this incident. So, yeah, huge crash in the opening lap, and that is Algary out of the sprint after coming together with Red Bull of Strooms, and of course, Strooms, therefore, down to 17th. Did take a bit of a knock himself, getting spun, but I'm not sure if he's actually got wing damage, because I think from Strooms, I wouldn't be surprised if he doesn't come into the pits here, because, yeah, from the angle I saw at least, it looks like Strooms only caught the rear inside of Algary's car, and therefore on the exit, and therefore I wouldn't be shocked if he didn't have any damage at all. Certainly would take a bit of a knock to the tyre wear though. That is one thing, indeed, it will take. But, yeah, I wouldn't be surprised if he doesn't. Now, we're going to get up the tyre graphic so you know what tyres everyone's on. Everyone's on mediums besides Arbeg Duri and Tiny, who have all, both elected to go for the softs. So, Piano Jam not Piano Jam, sorry. Got Vigo in, Strikey in, Same Power in, and then Dudelay all in. So yep, Algary obviously is out of the race, but right now it's a Mercedes 1-2 up front. So Danny Van Rooten leads Oscar at the moment for P1, P2. Then Vim Porsche in 3rd, Oneodul down to 4th, Nice Job 5th. Then it's Piers in 6th, then Amsterdam 7th, Tiny 8th, Arbeg Duri 9th, Ehrman in 10th, Vancy in 11th, then Piano Jam in 12th. Brian 13th, then it's Strooms in 14th, then it's Vigo 15th, and followed by Strikey in 16th. 17th is St. Power, and then 18th at the rear of the grid we have Du Day Lee. So wait for those cars to catch up, and safety car probably should be in at the end of the next lap. So, I presume safety car be in at the end of this lap. We've had about 3 laps of safety car running. Hopefully it'll be in. Hopefully St. Power can catch up. That would definitely cause safety car to come in. If not, it'll be the end of the next lap, most definitely. But I kind of would like it end of this lap, because more laps of racing then. But I think it's going to go for another lap then here, unfortunately. So St. Power did not catch up in time, and therefore we will get another lap of safety car then running here. That's a very unfortunate situation. Kind of hate safety cars, if I'm being brutally honest. Certainly when you're out as a solo commentator. Just very, very boring period of the race. Nothing happens. So, like, the question is, what do you do in a safety car period, if that makes sense? Evening, Dave. Evening. Evening. Good evening, I suppose. Probably saying evening too many times. If I said it one more time, you're probably going to think I'm on crack and cocaine and all of them drugs. Yeah, thanks. Thanks. Appreciate that. I'm all good. Good. As I say, drink Coke if you're, ever sick. That's a nice trick. Gets you better in no time. Yeah. Or any sort of fizzy drink. Anyway, time to get on with then the second half of this race. And by the way, we're not sponsored by Coke, but if Coke wants to sponsor us, I'm sure it'd be appreciated. Anyway, Danny Van Rooten is then restarted this race, gets a good restart, a little bit of a moment on the exit overall of the corner of turn, I believe that's 7 or 8, not actually sure how many corners there is to this track. Anyway, good start also by Oscar to keep up with his teammates, so Oscar might be a bit of a threat coming up the hill, but certainly, by the looks of it, then Porsche is going to be a threat. But as they head into turn 3, are they going to make it 3 side by side? Looks like Oscar covered off the inside line pretty well and allows him to go slightly on the attack of his teammate, who's currently leading this race. Down then towards turn 4. It is still Danny Van Rooten ahead of Oscar. Then Wim Porsche in third, on Erdal fourth. So it looks like things have just settled down a little bit at the front. What's going on further behind? Vigo overtaking Piano Jam. Piano Jam on the inside for turn number 6. As we head through 6 and 7, then Piano Jam is going to be behind Vigo ahead. Here comes Strooms. Going to attempt it again up the inside at turn number 8. Gets the move done. However, no he hasn't. And that is another DNF. Strooms then hits the side of hits the side of Valtzi's car, and Valtzi is out of the Grand Prix or the sprint. And that's another broken front wing for Red Bull. Right now, Red Bull isn't giving Strooms any wings. Well, they're giving him 3 wings in the pit stops, but just not wings on the track, I suppose. At the moment, that's, I think, the second wing he's gone through tonight. It's plenty for Red Bull. Anyway, I won't excite you too much with sponsor deals, to be fair. Anyway, safety car is out again, and we've got probably another 2 or 3 laps to look forward to of safety car running. Absolutely lovely. Yeah, I suppose it'd be interesting to see if some drivers take the opportunity to stop for softs. However, Danny Van Rooten certainly maybe trying to play the dummy there, but not kidding anyone, he isn't on that one. Certainly none of these leading group. So yeah, Vigo's certainly in. So he, I think, will go for another set of softs. Yeah, it was unlucky for Valtzi. Strooms got out of obviously shape there on the exit. thought he got the move done for a second, but then clearly went the wrong way. Snap of oversteer. Just a shame the way it got corrected, I suppose. But yeah, obviously it is a difficult track actually, Austria. It's not easy because it's such a short track, as you know yourself. Like, yeah, not, and also it's unforgiving as well due to the fact there's grass, and everything. Maybe that was a little bit of the more forgiving places where it could have happened, because there are certainly more unforgiving territories on this track, such as this part of the track here. Turn 6 and 7, and also turn 5 and 4 is pretty unforgiving in that regard. But obviously there is maybe this bit of track is probably a little bit more forgiving overall, but then I suppose due to the downhill nature of the slope and the way it's also cambered, makes it very difficult to control the car there. So Danny Van Rooten, obviously still your race leader, but does have a 5-place grid penalty to serve. Same with Piers as well. He's got 5 places to make up also. So a fair few drivers have 5-place grid penalties still to be applied for the main race. Bear that in mind. However, with about 3-4 laps to go, safety car should be in at the end of this lap, and we can get racing again. Yes, turn 9 is a horrible one. Overall, I agree. Really, there's only one line through turn 9, which, yeah, makes it not the ideal overtaking spot in reality, in hindsight. But yeah, nah. To be fair, there's not many places you can go for overtakes around Austria. You've got to be brave to go for overtake opportunities. Obviously, the obvious ones are turn 3 and turn 4, but beyond that, it's not many. But we are going to get racing once more for the 3rd time this evening, then, here in ERL. And we'll have 3 laps of racing to go in the sprint race. So, Danny Van Rooten gone pretty much at a similar or same spot as he did on his race restart, but gets a little bit of a better actual restart this time from the rest of the pack, so isn't going to be as challenged by the likes of Oscar, but this could see Oscar come under a bit more pressure, potentially up the hill into turn 3, but looks like he got a good entrance and exit through turn 1 and up the hill then towards 2 and 3. So I don't think Oscar is going to be challenged here. Then, as we see, I think that's Piers and Tiny going for position. Tiny taking the Alpine driver of Amsterdam for then 7th. So it's Williams in 6th and 7th. Decent result from them if they can secure those positions. As we see Strikey down the inside of Vigo. Vigo on the outside line. Strikey then on the inside. Both of them leave each other room. Vigo hanging it around the outside for now to defend the position. And Vigo remains ahead of Strikey. And Strikey is then remaining in 13th for now, being challenged by Dudelay, who currently is on the gearbox of Strikey. So we've seen Strooms go for a move there, but Dudelay backs out. Strooms gets the move done on Brian for P15. So I think Ehrman got position off Arbejduri, or Arbejduri got position, sorry, off Ehrman, but Ehrman's going to have a good opportunity to come back then at the Red Bull. Strikey is moved himself up the order, and same with Dudelay up into 13th. It looks like Piano Jam having a bit of a moment as we see the Red Bull of Storms go off the track, and Piano Jam also off with him in the background at turn 3. Arbejduri remains ahead of Ehrman then. Let's see what's going on back out front. So looks like then the gap pretty much stabilised once again, as we saw last time out. No one really going for moves actually at the front of the grid. Looks like they're all just happy sat where they are right now. But this pack or bunch of cars are not happy with where they are at. So Arbegduri has got a car on his inside, and that's a lovely move by Vigo. Absolutely clinical to take 9th away from Arbegduri. Arbegduri does have a bit of broken front end plate, so that will be affecting his performance. See Strikey move up into 10th. So right now, Arbegduri is a bit of a, moving chicane at the moment, but the moving chicane is going to come back at then the AlphaTauri driver of then Strikey. Dudelay goes through and takes the position off then Arbegduri. It's then Airman going to be next. Can he go down the inside? The answer to that is yes. He certainly sent it from a long way back, a bit of a dive and a half, but he's certainly going to go for it. We'll have then the outside line, but without broken front wing for the next part of the corner. But it is going to be Arbegduri holding it around the outside as Amsterdam takes a last lap then position. But it is going to be Danny Van Rooten taking the sprint race win with a also fastest lap for good measure. Oscar for second, Oneodol third, then it's Vin Porsche in fourth. Then nice job fifth, Dots in Piers in 6th, then Amsterdam in 7th, Tiny 8th, Vigo in 9th, Strikey in 10th, Dudelay 11th, Arbegduri 12th, 13th for Airman, 14th and 15th for the two Ferraris of Brian and St. Power, 15th or 16th is Piano Jam, and then 17th, taking the final position overall in the race, is going to be Strooms, taking 17th position, and that has been your sprint race. Then, and we now will move on to a main race overall, which is, well, triple that. Hopefully not triple the safety cars, but triple the length. And yeah, hopefully we have a good clean race from them all. But yeah, there is your final running order. So as I say, Danny Van Rooten takes the win. Took pole as well. Then it's Oscar in second. Oneodol is in third. Vin Porsche fourth. Nice job, fifth. Sixth is Piers. Then seventh is Amsterdam. Tiny in eighth. Vigo in ninth. Strikey in 10th. Outside the top 10, we will have Dudelay, Arbegduri in 12th. Airman 13th. 14th is Brian. 15th is St. Power. Piano Jam in 16th. Then Stooms in 17th. Vancy and then obviously Algary is in 18th and 19th and both out of the race. But Danny Van Rooten and Piers both have 5 place grid penalties. Bear that in mind. So they will obviously lose 5 places on the start at the race and therefore be demoted, I think, down into, I'm going to say 6th and 11th, if I'm correct, if my maths is good. Or 11th, 6th and 12th. That's what I'm thinking they'll be overall. So, yeah, we'll have to see where they start them to. But, of course, 5 places is not ideal for the race overall, but I think they can come through anyway, the field, given the quality that they've got. So here we go then for the main race, and it is lights out and away we go for the second time then this evening, and a good start from Oscar once again, getting very nicely away from his grid position and defends then the lead up into turn one. Already a yellow flag at the back of the grid, and it's St. Power and the Ferrari of Brian who have, I think, had an incident at the back there. So the two Ferrari teammates coming together. Strikey making up the move then on then Vigo down the inside, taking 8th position away from the Aston Martin driver. Piers right now in then 12th. Nice job trying to make the move on then Porsche for P3. He's got the inside line, but it will be Vin Porsche having the outside line or inside line for the next one. Vin Porsche also squeezed very much to the circuit limits on the exit there, but it is nice job taking the position away from Vin Porsche for 5th place, and Tiny is then next. Danny Van Rooten, though, must be said, already up into P3, so you give man a 5-place grid penalty, and Danny Van Rooten, well, becomes a different animal, different beast altogether, and he's on the hards. In fact, I think top 3 are on hards, but yeah, they are. Yeah, so Danny Van Rooten already making up 3 places in this race, and he's about to look at making up maybe then a 4th here. Here he goes. He's going for it. He's gone for it. He's got it. And that is Danny Van Rooten already up into P2. So Danny Van Rooten, next up is his own teammate. Here is then Amsterdam down the inside. Got the inside line, 4-10-6 as well. But it will be Strikey with the inside, 4-10-7. Strikey, I think, going to win out there. And he does on, obviously, though, the softer compound. So therefore will stop earlier. Honor O'Dall in 3rd right now. Piano Jam. And we've got a virtual safety car. Not sure what for. I think for Ferrari. So virtual safety car is out for Brian, who has unfortunately, I think, spun or something's happened to him at the back there. So, virtual safety car is out. I don't know why we're watching Battle 4. Anyway, Vigo. Well, I'm not actually sure we will make best restart here. We'll just go back to the race leaders. Onodal's got a penalty. Let's have a look what that's for. 3 seconds, so track limits already. That's not ideal after, what, 1-2 laps? So, long way to go as well. 36 laps of racing. And it's a drive-through for also Strikey, so that is a huge penalty, given that the fact also he's on softs. So, yeah, he could be already 40 seconds off the race lead, but here comes Danny Van Rooten then. Got a good exit, got a good restart, and is going to go for it then, again, to take the race lead. Almost said race victory, but there we go. Takes the race lead up into turn 3 and is back into his familiar territory, which is P1, of course. Danny Van Rooten, clearly the class of the field at the moment. So Oni O'Dall, 3rd right now. Then it's a nice job in 4th, followed by Tiny and then Porsche. Tiny holding on very nicely to the back of this group. He is himself, obviously, won the final round of China in Tier 1 last season when Stewart won the championship. Very, very nice drive he did indeed. So certainly a quality driver of what he is. There's Brian there, already a lap down. I think that's Brian or St. Power, one of the two Ferraris. I think it's actually St. Power. Beg my pardon, apologies to Brian, who is not a lap down. Anyway, nice job. Sorry, not nice job. Vin Porsche and Tiny both having a battle. Interestingly, Danny Van Ruten's got to the lead, but cannot pull away out of that 1 second window. And of course, if he does pull away from that 1 second, he therefore wouldn't be giving his teammate the DRS assist, and therefore would be a little bit more comfortable in the race lead. But right now he's still 2 tenths ahead, but is giving his teammate the tow, giving his teammate also the DRS assist. I suppose it is very hard to pull out a second when you've got someone in your DRS like this. It is one of them circuits where you can follow, and when you've got the DRS, it makes life so much easier, because there's 3 big DRS zones actually around Austria. You got the first one down the main straight between turn 9 and 1, then you got the second one between 1 and 3, and the third one, a bit smaller, but between 3 and 4. Still, lap 6. Very nice helmet Vin Porsche's got, to be fair. Love that colour scheme, in all honesty. Not a big fan of actually the Ferrari Carlos Sainz helmet, if I'm being brutally honest. Anyway, that's enough rating helmets. Trying to bring back the old spray and pray helmet reviews. So Vigo right now in 7th. Again, we've got 2 packs emerging here. We've got the leading pack, which is really Tiny onwards. There's a nice job takes on Erdal for good measure, and up into then P3 himself. A little bit of contact between the two, bit of bump drafting, but all good. Neither come away from it in any worse shape than what they went into it. And Dudele is out, and that is our first safety car of the race, as then Onodal went down the inside, and unfortunately, it looks like Nice Job has had to give back the position, but Onodal's trying to re-give that position back, and I think he may have done so successfully, I'm not sure. Hopefully no one gets a penalty there for that. I think Onodal just doing a pointing though. Helmet reviews are a defo welcome. Oh, well that is a bit of an interesting pit entrance whilst I was reading your comment. Onodal doing a handbrake turn into the pit entry there. As Vigo picks up a drive-through, so that's going to be pretty painful. The only good news is for Strikey, if he served that drive-through already now, he will be brought back into this race, which would be good for timing for him here. If not, it could be pretty bad. But yeah, in fact, let's go through then the helmets, shall we? Whilst we've got a pause in the racing. So, who has got the best helmet of them all? So, start with St. Power. St. Power's actually got a nice helmet. I like the top of the helmet. Can't see much from the side view, but I do like the black and purple. Very, very nice. Not a big fan of this sort of scheme. A bit bland, if I'm being brutally honest. Same with Strooms. Right, what has Algary got? So look, certainly from a side-on angle, looks okay. Quite like the yellow and the black, looks quite nice. The red and yellow, basically that's the same as the yellow. Again, not a big fan of these yellow helmets. Now I think that's a Devon Butler helmet, if I'm correct. And yeah, purple and yellow, I do quite like it. It is quite a nice looking one. He's got a decent one, I suppose, but again, just the same as the yellow one. Green, maybe a bit too much green going on there, if I'm being brutally honest. Not sure if this is original, if this is a driver's helmet, but can't really see much from that angle, if I'm being honest, whether it's nice or not. Nice jobs. It's probably the most interesting of all the helmets. I just like the colour of it, but again, very boring scheme going on there. Yeah, I'm not a big fan again of them helmets. This one, purple, yellow, and orange, black. It's okay from Oscar, but not amusing. So, I think the three I'm most like the most is Danny Van Ruten's. Sadly, Vin Porsche's I can't see a lot of. Piers has got quite a nice one, I'll give him that. But I think the best one is St. Powers. So St. Power, I think, wins the Helmet Award today. Yeah, he wins the Helmet Award. There we go. That's that settled. Just like the purple, and the way it's also done, the layout of it looks very neat. Purple and black, great colour combination. And you can't tell me otherwise. I mean, Lewis Hamilton had purple and black. That was a very, very nice helmet he had during the 2020, period. Yeah, very, very nice. So, looked very, very good. That helmet did. Also, Red Bull purple and blue. That was very, very lovely as well. In 2013, 2014, and 15, I think they had the purple and blue, which was quite a nice looking livery scheme. I mean, from the offboard, I'm not going to lie though, Oscar's does look good. So I think Oscar comes a strong P2 in terms of the helmet review thing. But yeah. Anyway, that's enough talking about helmets. Kind of like what Kimi Raikkonen said once when he was speaking to Jeremy Clarkson or something. He more or less said, what does the helmet do? What's the most important thing about your helmet? Or whatever, something like that. And he said, protects my head. Very simple Kimi Raikkonen answer, you know. Do miss Kimi. Kimi Raikkonen, legendary driver, of course. Anyway, Oscar gets the chance to restart the race. Hasn't done a pit stop as of yet, so maybe he's predicting more safety cars to come, but does put him a little bit out of sync with some of the others, but neither has Vigo or Abegduri or Ehrman. The only drivers that have stopped is Danny Van Ruten, nice job, Vin Porsche, and all the others behind him. So, we are now back to the racing green for the second time in this main race, and around then the final corner, Oscar goes to get everyone back. Looks like a good restart, but everything is kicking off behind then, and well, this ain't a great shot, that camera one, but Strikey goes off. The Aston Martin of Vin Porsche goes around, hits Tiny, or I think it was Tiny who got hit, and that's another safety car. So, yep, second safety car in the main race, and that then is another pause of the action then. So, the drivers that didn't stop under the last safety car are doing so now. And, well, we've got 20 laps to do of racing still. When the safety car comes in, it'll be just under 20 laps. Or just over. So, we are about to go racing for the, well, second time then this evening. And Arbegduri leads us once again back to racing. A bit of a snap of oversteer for Airman out of the final corner. This allows then Arbegduri to make a good breakaway from the rest of the field. Danny Van Rooten makes up the position on then Airman to take away P2 immediately. Then comes Nice Job trying to get the move done. Here goes Nice Job. Down the inside, gets the position. Here comes Strikey, goes through on Airman. Or not gone through on Airman. Where is Airman? Oh, Airman's there. So Strikey is then there. Oscar going around the outside on Strooms. There we go, lovely move by him at turn 4. Strooms in 10th now. The Piano Jam is ahead. Got another yellow flag for this time. Saint Power in 18th, who I believe is a lap down. So in comes then Vigo, or Vin Porsche, sorry, and he's retired. Or no, Vigo's in. Vin Porsche retired on the track, and that's then another safety car for today. So Vigo, I think, was serving a drive-through there, and that's perfect timing for Vigo, I suppose, to have his teammate crash out. Not saying that was pre-planned or anything, certainly wasn't, but perfect timing, almost like what happened in Singapore 2008. But helps Vigo out lovely then there. So, lap 16 of 36, 20 laps to go. I think we're probably reaching the safety car limit now, either way. So, yeah, we are probably not going to have too many more safety cars. I think the safety car limit is 4 or 5. And we've had, what, 3 or 4 now? So, I think we're certainly close to the safety car limit. If we are. Hopefully it's not 10. If it's 10 safety cars, I'm out of it. Bye-bye. But yeah, 10, I think it's only 4 or 5 you can get in the game. So, to be fair, we've only had 2 retirements from each event so far, or each race, sprint and then this. Anyway, lap 17, and we're about to go racing for then the 4th time in this race. So it is going to be Danny Van Rooten leading them away, and we are back to racing once more for the 4th time tonight. It's a good start once again by Danny Van Rooten, gets a very nice jump on Nice Job, who follows about half a second behind. Then it's on Erdal in 3rd, followed by Oscar in 4th. Oscar going for the move on Strikey, gets the move done on Strikey, and up into then 4th place. He's on a bit of a fresher tyre as well than the 3 cars ahead of him inside the top 3. Tiny getting the move done on Piano Jam, gets the move done. Very nice job by Tiny then. Vauncy off the track. Vauncy rejoins the track, comes on safely and rejoins behind Arbegduri in 10th. Arbegduri up then into 9th. Here then goes down the inside Amsterdam sends it a little bit from a decent chunk back. Makes up, I believe, 2 positions. Amsterdam going for another position there on Voutsy again. And that's another position. Voutsy going very slow, though. Must have some sort of damage to his car, I suspect, if he's going that slow. Because he is creeping around at the moment, down into 15th. Does he have a puncture? Not that I can visibly see, but certainly going very, very slow. After going off the track there, not really sure what's going on there from the McLaren of Voutsy, but Voutsy certainly lost a lot of positions on that lap and still not really going any faster by the looks of it, not catching up to Piers. Anyway, Arbegduri is then going to come under a bit of pressure, but nice job, and Oneodol's battling side by side. Oneodol sent it by the looks of it, got a bit of wing damage then on his car. Danny Van Rooten down into P2, so Danny Van Rooten has lost the race lead. Here goes Oscar down the inside at turn 3. Oscar and Danny Oneodol leave each other space. St. Powers out of the race, and there we go. That's another safety car for today. That's the 4th one. It's the 7th safety car overall. So yep, safety car number 7 is deployed. And I suspect we'll see Oneodol in. Might see some of those earlier stopped runners come in as well, just to put on new tyres, and we are going to see a few cars come in here. So yeah, new tyres for a lot of drivers as we move on to lap 20 towards the latter stage of this race, and some of them going for softs already, believing they can get to the end. That's a bit of a brave strategy call, but when we do get restarted, probably be about, I don't know, 12 laps, something like this. So yeah, it probably is doable. 12, 13, 14 laps on softs, especially now that the fuel loads have come off, track a bit more rubbered in, and therefore, you know, with all of that, softs probably are certainly a tyre that could get you to the end of the race. Whether or not you'll be competitive by the time you get to 36, you don't need to be, so long you get to 34, 35 and you're in the position you want to be in, I suppose. Anyway. So, for the, I suppose, 8th time overall, for the 4th time in this race, we will go back to racing. And we've surely reached our limit now on the safety cars. I don't think there's any more left. At least I hope not. Anyway. So, Oscar has gone quite early this time. Gets then the pack going and has caught actually Stroom's a little bit napping there. So here we go then, back to the racing green, and Stroom's then being caught, as I said, napping, and is already about a second behind than the race leader, but is obviously trying to close that gap down as we head through turns 1, 2, then up the hill into 3. So it looks like a good start by Oscar. Then comes Stroom's in second. Third is Tiny. Can Tiny go for P2? Certainly going to give it a good crack. His teammate of Arbegburi on the inside. Stroom's then gets the switchback complete, and Tiny is then up into second. Let's say Tiny got the switchback complete. Arbegburi down the inside at then turn number 3. A little bit wide off the circuit at 4. Then Stroom's loses out the position to Amsterdam and is down to 5th. The Ego up in 6th right now, ahead of Airman. Airman right now battling. Nice job. Has to back out through 6 into 7. 7 though, that puts obviously Danny Van Rooten closely onto the back of then Nice Job down the hill, following then Airman, who right now is on a set of the hard tyres and doesn't have to give up the track position. This is for track position, bear in mind. Nice Job goes through up the inside at turn 1, gets the position done. Danny Van Rooten follows then quickly and takes the position as well. But this could be a good moment for Danny Van Rooten to go for it, and looks like we've got another yellow flag, but I don't think this time it's going to be a safety car, and thank goodness for that, I suppose. Anyway, Nice Job takes then, well, is ahead of then Danny Van Rooten here. So lap 23 of 20 or 36, not 26, 36. One thing about this race, you forget how long it is, if that makes sense, due to, you know, the nature of the circuit, even though it's a short lap around here. So yeah, it's a long lap, or a short lap, but a long race, 36 laps, so it's a lot of laps where you can make an error, and the laps come at you very, very quickly here. So it's a very intense race for our drivers out there. Nice Job makes the move on the Ego to get up into then P6. Algri is out of the race. Not sure where he's retired there. Looks like he's gone a long way off the track, but doesn't bring out the safety car. Here goes Danny Van Rooten taking on Storms for P7 and 6th. Gets also past Vigo and down the inside, and they come together. Storms and Vigo, not Vigo, Danny Van Rooten touch. Danny Van Rooten then shoved off the track by Storms for good measure. And Stroom's then, well, is 8th, but yeah, that's another car killed by Storms. Azon O'Doul then on the inside got a bit of wing damage, sort of impedes everyone behind him. Got to be careful here, they do. This certainly easily could cause an incident as O'Doul comes into the pits for a new front wing. O'Doul gets 5 seconds for speeding in the pit lane there, but that won't really matter to him at the moment, and he's actually opted to retire from the session. So might have had a bit more damage to his car than we first could obviously see. Knew he had front wing, but not sure if he had anything else. Have to wait and see till later. Anyway, here we go then. Tiny going for it. Tiny almost squeezing out Amsterdam. Amsterdam goes around the outside. They come back together on the exit. Amsterdam versus Tiny. Amsterdam still there on the inside. Tiny gets the switchback move done beautifully, and Tiny holds on to P3, or well, yeah, holds on to P3 because he was ahead coming out of turn 3. Arbegburi though very nicely leading the way and the charge, but right now there's only a 3.5 second gap to the race leader between Nice Job and then obviously Oscar. Oscar does have the older tyres but Nice Job does have the softer tyres, but those softer tyres will run out of life a bit sooner than the mediums, of course. Even though the mediums are saying 14 laps old, he's probably done about 6 or 7 under racing conditions. Storms has retired from the session. Amsterdam now out. So, Tiny getting overtaken by Nice Job. Not much Tiny can do here on those 17 lap old hards. Up against 6 lap old softs. And next up for Nice Job is going to be Arbegduri. Arbegduri right now being chased down by the McLaren. So it's only a matter of when does Nice Job pass here, I'm going to say. Not if he gets past, because he's certainly following closely enough, and this time got the DRS as well to help him out. So I imagine we're going to see the move up into turn 3. Will we see it down into turn 4, sorry. But it is going to be turn 3, or before turn 3 even. So turn 2 get moved done, and that is then Nice Job ahead of then Arbegduri. And next up for Nice Job is Oscar. So there's about 7-8 laps between the tyre difference. Obviously though, those softs have probably had about 4 laps of racing on them now. Thus, what Oscar's tyres probably done about 7 or 8 laps of racing. So it is going to be a very intense battle. The only thing is, Oscar will be a bit more difficult to pass for Nice Job than what obviously maybe the other drivers have been, due to the fact their tyres are a bit slightly, well, some of them a bit slightly older. Even though Arbegduri had a good tyre life, to be fair. So Vigo is currently 5th, Strikey in 6th, Piers in 7th, then 8th is Ehrman, 9th is Vancy, 10th is then Piano Jam, then in 11th, but now 10th, is going to be Brian. As Piano Jam comes in, stops for a new set of tyres. Imagine this might be a set of softs or something. Going maybe for a fastest lap attempt here. Would certainly be able to do it, especially with those new softs. Anyway, back to the race lead. I believe that's the closest bow we've got on track, really, or most important bow it is, indeed. So, Oscar is being chased down by, obviously, the McLaren of Nice Job. Nice Job doing an excellent job to catch right now, Oscar, but Oscar's holding his own, actually, fairly well here. It's not as if Oscar is not holding up here. He's 1.6 seconds ahead. At the start of last lap, he was about 1.9, so we've only seen that gap come down by about half a second then. Not by much at all whatsoever. So, Oscar holding up, as I say, very nicely as we head on to, well, we're on lap 29, heading towards the lap 30. So, lap then 30. 1.2 seconds is the gap between the race leader and P2. Also Tiny catching Arbegduri ever so slowly. I say if we get to lap 33, this is just my prediction, we get to lap 33, Oscar's still in the lead, Oscar will win this race. If we get to lap 32, and Nice Job overtakes before lap 32, I think Nice Job will go on and win this race. That's just my prediction. Then here. So, basically, I'm giving Nice Job 2 laps to get this race win. 2 laps is what he's getting, I think, here. So the next 2 laps are absolutely mission critical for the McLaren driver of a Nice Job if he wants to go get this race win. As Tiny has finally overtaken Arbegduri for P3. Arbegduri is now going to have to chase and give chase, but he's also now picked up a 3-second time penalty, which will hurt him a bit there. Vigo catching also, so the battle for P3 is starting to loom. But here we go then, the battle for P1 is starting to also heat up a fair bit here. Oscar right now is your race leader. It is Nice Job who's got the DRS, he's got the toe, got the softer tyre. Then here we go, is Nice Job going to go for it on lap 31? The answer to that is no, just going to hold off his attack for now. But Oscar is starting to fall into the clutches of Nice Job. Nice Job on those, now what would be about 9 lap old softs. So as I say, the next 2 laps are critical right now. Nice Job is doing a fantastic job here to get very close to the Mercedes and potentially to the race win around Austria. And he's getting very, very close. This might be the lap we see the switch for the race lead. I did say lap 32, if Nice Job gets into the race lead, I believe he will go on to win this race today. He's getting very, very close to it. So let's see if this is going to be right or wrong. Because Nice Job, he's got his best opportunity. He's so far closest that he's ever been, but doesn't get the move done on lap 32. Remains behind the Mercedes for now. Tiny currently occupies P3, but being caught by also by Vigo and by Strikey fairly quickly and comprehensively. Vigo doing an excellent job to catch then Tiny for P3 here and P4. But one thing's catching, another thing is overtaking. As we'll now go back to the race lead, the battle for first. Now lap 33, I said if obviously Oscar survives until lap 33, he might go on and win this race, and he has survived so far. But if he can survive maybe this attack, I think that definitely then sees Oscar win this race. That's just my opinion, so I think this is going to be the critical lap for Oscar to survive. However, Nice Job is closer than ever. So this might be it then for maybe Oscar. The answer's no. So Oscar holds off another attack and remains P1 for now. We head on to lap 34. So I think Oscar might just do this, you know. That's just my gut instinct. Strikey picks up 3 seconds. That certainly won't help out his podium chances. So I think the podium comes down really to Vigo and to Tiny, and whether or not one of them gets a 3 seconds. However, there is a critical 3 seconds out front. Oscar's been given a 3-second time penalty, so that puts a Nice Job in prime candidacy and prime position to go on and win this race. Also, Oscar got a bit squirmish out of turn 1, and this is going to allow Nice Job to close up to the back of the Mercedes driver of Oscar, so that might have just given Nice Job the race victory. 2 laps to go. Oscar needs to pull out now about 1.5 seconds the next lap and 1.5 seconds on the last lap. That's certainly going to be difficult to do. Anyway, Tiny versus Vigo right now is the battle then for third. So this is probably now become all of a sudden the most important battle on the track, because right now as things stand, it will be Nice Job taking the race win on the track, and he will be your race victor for today. Tiny, right now, trying to hold on to P3. He does have, obviously, a car in between himself and in between himself and Vigo. Of course, Al-Baghduri probably isn't as much of a threat. However, does still would like, I'm sure, to keep behind the Red Bull driver. But, of course, Al-Baghduri doesn't go for the move here. So defends or stays away. The only thing is, I do kind of hope Al-Baghduri doesn't interfere here a little bit, because it'd be harsh for, Tiny to lose position. But here we go then. Also, it'd be harsh if Vigo lost the position too, unnecessarily through Al-Baghduri, but Al-Baghduri squeezes Vigo out wide, giving Tiny the best opportunity of taking a podium here with 1.5 laps remaining. So I think Tiny is on for a podium in this race, so long he doesn't get overtaken by Vigo. Vigo is the biggest threat for Tiny. 1 lap to go. Just keep it within the track limits. Same applies for Nice Job. Nice Job also might be going for a race lead here on the track. He is going for it. He's got it. So that almost but ensures the race victory. Tiny is having then Al-Baghduri do an absolute monstrous job for then the for the Williams driver. Vigo comes back on, almost collects Strikey for good measure, but then here we go then. Nice Job has done a fantastic job, a nice job you could say, and Nice Job is going to take the race win around Austria here in Tier 2 for ERL, and this is going to be his victory on the track, followed by Oscar in P2. Nice Job rounds the final corner at the Red Bull Ring to take the race victory on the track. It is Nice Job, your race winner. Oscar comes home P2, 3.4 seconds behind. Tiny is going to claim the final podium spot thanks to Al-Baghduri's brilliant defending. Vigo comes home in 4th. Then someone's been promoted up into the podium, but I think, not sure. Airman is in then 8th. Sadly, this is messing up the finishing order a bit. Then I think actually Emin was 7th, ain't it? Emin 7th, then Strikey in 7th, then Valsey will come home 9th, Brian 10th, and Piano Jam in 11th. No point in me going through the order again because sort of messed up now. But yeah, in terms of driver of the day, I'm gonna give it to Nice Job. Did a fantastic race. And that has been ERL Tier 2 at Austria tonight. And until next week, I suppose I am off and out. Thank you for coming to join tonight, and see you all next week for round number 4, which I believe is American track, if I'm correct. Might not be. I'll have to find out. Anyway, see you all next week for then the next race. Thank you for watching.